Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today our 2 versus 2, a Monday Novice fight on Duclair. So yes, indeed, this is going to be a Monday Novice fight, and damn it, this is going to be novice-y. So I will be speeding things up here and there, because there are going to be some parts where you're basically not just going to be able to really say anything, and we just want to move on to the parts where we actually can. And this is going to be a long one, and it's also going to be in some parts, not very clever in some parts. We're seeing RobFabulous with Lefrench playing as the Commonwealth. Oh, the irony, but nonetheless fighting for a combined American Commonwealth force. Origins unknown, opposing them shall be Grisen and Ekas, fighting for both the Wehrmacht. Fighting for, I don't know, the 116th Panzer Division. Going to be quite the match in some ways. Brenke up first here for Lefrench, going here for the munitions, like he will be setting up there, packing up the truck. And we are seeing a few pioneers up here for Grisen, in fact only 2, full squad. Pioneers moving up there, looks like some infantry or otherwise on the way from him as well. Brenke immediately sets off against the pioneers quickly pull back. Full grenadiers move up. And there we go, munition secured by Lefrench. Full grenadiers moving up. Engaging the Brenke. The Brenke is not really doing anything, and there's plenty of resource being flowed here, so not really going to end well for the Brenke. The Wehrmacht pushes on. That is good. And we do see another full squad up for Ekas, so that's 2 squads of full grenadiers. And there's going to be no infantry from RobFabulous, which of course means most of the fighting will have to be done by Lefrench's infantry, which is definitely going to place a lot of pressure on him. And of course also means that RobFabulous is of course not very fabulous, and he's obviously not going to be adding that much to the fight, because again he will be the player that sort of likes to sit about, and again, don't do this. It's just not very good, and again, it's strategically not very sound either, I'd argue. As again, it puts a lot more pressure on your teammate, which again means he's going to be much quicker out of the fight. There we go, 30 caliber setting up, opening up on some of the pioneers out in the open. Bike moving about, Bike needs to be careful. Fighting against the recce section, hiding inside the house. We see the headquarters up close. Ekas machine gun on the way for the Bren carrier. Engineers here getting attacked by German infantry. Volkswagen's holding out a bit here, but they're coming out of heavy fire. There we go, suppressed. And a unit does go down for one of the Wehrmacht players. Troops are getting suppressed by MG42 up from Ekas, but we are going to see the Bren carrier with the Ekas going to flank quite nicely. Oh no, apparently not. Make up your mind. And there we go. Lots of machine gun fire going into the backs of the MG crew. Engineers hiding up here. Volkswagen's moving in right in front of the infantry section. Another 30 caliber moving up. Very intense position around the center. Mortar emplacement going up for Lefrench. As of yet has no lieutenants. Brenke here taking a bit of fire from the full grenadiers. Spike moving out. Volkswagen's moving out as well from Grisen, which means the pig in Danish. Bike here taking a lot of heavy damage. Volkswagen is continuing up. Damaged engine on the Bren carrier. But oh, the bike might go down to the rather intense machine gun fire being delivered by the Bren carrier. And there we go. Ultimately, the Volkswagen still managed to get it down. But now we do see there is a mortar up for the French bombarding the Hun. Definitely going to put some pressure on the Germans. Largely no efforts going on here. This is pretty much all Allied territory, which is not really good for the Germans. They could actually benefit from actually trying to sort of switch the combat over there towards less enclosed areas where the MGs here can dominate more. And so far, RobFabulous with 3 heavy machine guns, not a single mortar or a sniper or some riflemen. So again, RobFabulous playing a very unfabulous match, playing very statically and not very creatively. Would certainly fall under the mark of the novice to just get a lot of heavy machine guns. Also note, For other people who be sending in, you know, check your own replays. And again, if your opponent within the first 10 minutes has built 2 to 3 machine gun emplacements, don't bother sending it in. I can tell you the key here. Your opponent needs to learn how to play the bloody game and not spam machine gun emplacements. Simple as that. Sorry to crush your dreams of fame on the Propagandacast, but trust me, there is nothing entertaining in watching those matches. MG42 setting up, 30 caliber keeping the Volkswagens down. Mortar firing away as well. Flamethrowers might even get the Recce section. No, it finally does manage to retreat by the grace of God. And we do see Ekas machine gun position going down for Lefrench, pretty damn close to the front lines, under fire. In fact, not really solid handling there by Lefrench. And certainly again falls into this very close to falling into this category. Though again, clearly he's doing this to actually protect his headquarters, but again there's a slight detail, he can easily be flanked. And we do finally see a shift from at least one of the Wehrmacht players towards the south to actually do something here. RobFabulous engineers running into a problem. And there we go, 3 30 calibers and a sniper. We do see a supply up as well, so we might actually be seeing a motor pool or a tank depot soon from him. MG here needs to get out of there, coming under fire from the mortar and the 30 caliber. The crew is not doing too well, and there we go, the MG gunners are simply getting murdered. And there we go, veterans who won for the 30 caliber machine gun crew. Not really a notable endeavour right there for Ekas, who's now got himself grenadiers. Here's a Kriegbags up. None of that for Grisen yet. We do see 3 Volkswagen squads and an MG. 2 MGs, in fact, so a very heavy tier 1 instead of perhaps checking up a bit quicker. Oh well. Currently the Allies do hold most of the map. And the Axis are definitely struggling at the moment. But we do finally see some movement going down here in the south. Finally making some progress. Finally taking some territory away from the Allies. So that is, well, something, but for how long it'll last, I don't know. At the same time, the Allies are making good progress towards the north. Lefrench advancing, rifle grenadiers covering everyone else, and looks like they have managed to secure themselves an MG42 from the Hun. At the same time, though, we do see the machine gun emplacement going to get flanked by the Germans, flamethrowers and everything nice coming in here. Oh, the mortar immediately opens up, and there we go, sniper fire, one of the pioneers. Rifle grenadiers moving in, Bren gunners moving in. This advance by the Wehrmacht is quickly going to turn sour. And there we go, large majority manages to make it out of there, although with some losses. Wehrmacht continues here, in fact, completely unopposed, due to the more static approach of the Allies at the moment, and blobby, partly at least. Nature again, most of everything is in fact up north, but although we do see an armored car now coming out for RobFabulous to clear the flanks of German presence. At the same time, another machine gun placement is attempted there, but comes under heavy and intense fire from the MG42, rather making it a hazardous venture, and they do quickly stop. MG there taking a bit of fire from the rifle grenadiers, down to 1 man. Should perhaps consider getting out of there. At the same time, 30 caliber engineer and armored car push every German soldier from the western. And there we go, the MG42 gets cleared out by Lefrench. Anti-tank guns out for RobFabulous as well now. And they're just MGs pointing in every possible direction. Pioneers here, they're running into a lot of problem as Bren gunners are opening up with a vengeance.
Enemy unit down.
Volkswagen is pushed off, mortar rounds going down.
Light mechanized here.
Packs up, and we do see Ekas actually with a mortar to bombard the Ekas machine gun emplacement. Nice move there. Quickly losing this territory, and definitely the Allies are getting most of the victory points at the moment. Axis have not really been able to put off a good solid effort, I fear. Armoured car advancing and taking heavy fire from the anti-tank gun hidden by the mortar. And there we go, full MP44s going out. Maschinen Pistolen. Lots of them, in fact. And let's go look at Grisen now with a Blitzkrieg Doctrine choice. Securing the MG42 by the looks of it, and a push going on in the north as well from Ekas. And there we go, rifle grenades immediately opening up on the Germans, pushing them back. Nasty stuff, that. And a bit going on north as well. And there we go, Fox was immediately coming under fire from the MG42, but oh, they're actually firing at the Grenadiers. It seems like allowing the Fox Grenadiers to actually deal with them, and grenades as well. Could see the MG42 cleared out, and there we go, could be quickly secured by the Germans and turned against the Britons once more. We do see the French swiftly counter-attacking with what looks like sniper support. And there we go, that MG needs to get out of there. Rifle Grenadiers moving up. At the same time, Grisen pushing down in the south, running into another 30 caliber, immediately losing a Pioneer. Stormtroopers now available for Grisen. And Sniper moving out. There we go, getting a Grenadier. Veteranry 1 for the infantry of Ekas. Nothing of this. Oh wait, also Veteranry 1 for this player's infantry. We do actually see the infantry flanking about, trying to hit the MG in the flank. That is nice, that is nice, that is good. No point in charging in men needlessly. Engineers immediately running into an MG42 right there. Pioneers getting run off there. Going for the victory point there. We do see the MG shifting. False guns need to continue their flank. Need to continue. Quickly remaining behind heavy cover, one squad to attack the fire while the others move in to clear out the 30 caliber. Nice move. And there we go. Will RobFabulous pay attention long enough? And there we go. Trying to retreat. But could risk going it down the retreat. In fact, he's going to have to retreat right past the false guns with MP40s. Looks like it does manage to escape. Why on earth they're running away from a flamethrower? In the meanwhile, though, the Allies continue largely on the post up in the north, although we do see Ekas now counter-attacking once more. Mortar sneaking forward, and there go two Greyhounds now out from RobFabulous, and there's nothing to really stop it from Grisen. Not really helping him there. In the north, the Brits are being pushed back once more. And armoured cars now out, that means a Sturm army is up. One of them getting upgraded to a Puma. These false guns just need to get out of there, and there we go. But victory points continue to tick down for the Wehrmacht.
Puma ready.
And a British medic on the move. And another machine gun emplacement full of fun. He does seem to be a bit optimistic about his usage of it. Plus another 30 caliber from RobFabulous to cover the flank. And there we go. Lefrench has begun blobbing up with dual officers. Opening up on the armor cars, so not quite succeeding. Mortar runs falling down on the Vickers machine gun emplacement. And there we go. The Brit horde advances. Puma scores a nice hit, killing two Brits outright. MG42 sitting up, but will he be in time? And there we go, the Brits exhausted and now coming under heavy fire from the Axis. Losses are intense, and they are ultimately forced back, repulsed. And of course, now the armor cars could try and clear out this Vickers machine gun emplacement. In the meanwhile, American sniper continues to take a toll on the Germans. There we go, armored cars are advancing. False gun grenadiers as well. Sniper actually being hunted down. And he did not make it. A stray bullet from an MP40 cut him down in this prime. Though there's another one still alive. Still no infantry from RobFabulous. We're seeing armored doctrine, so there won't be any elite infantry like say Rangers and Airborne, which is definitely going to put RobFabulous at quite the disadvantage. Since again he won't have any infantry. And we do see a Stug out for Grisen. And a Stu 42 out from Ekas. Will they be trying to make a push? Exactly time to look at Ekas. The veteran G2 for his infantry. And there we go. Another sniper run off. Anti-tank and could get cleared up. Very close happening fact. And there we go. The blob advances once more. Mortar rounds hit a false grenadier. And where is the Stu? Where are the armored cars? Come on. Vorwärts. Vorwärts. There we go though. And Brit charge straight into the MP40s. Madness. And there we go. Assault as well. They might have waited with at least dropping all of them until they were back. And then actually suppressing them at the base with another set of them. 30 caliber in the old barn. Suppressing the Germans. Assault guns moving up. And where is the Stu 42? Nowhere near the front line. Come on, Ekas. Damn you. Most of the map that was currently in the hands of the Allies. The Germans have not really managed very well for the moment. And another Stu 42 arrives this time from Ekas again. Actually, never mind. Stu 42 from Grisen firing away. Not doing an awful lot. The Brit horde advances straight into an MG42, although the pack next to it. And there we go, artillery getting called in on the MG, and oh dear, officer artillery by the looks of it, which rather means that we are seeing artillery doctrine from the British player. Anti-tank gun is protecting this. On the other hand, if that anti-tank gun gets, say, mortared, I mean, then the Stu-42s could push in and probably destroy all of this. Simply put. Still no response to that armored car. I mean, there's two German ones, including a Puma, which could be swiftly sent in to deal with it, but apparently that's not happening. And we're also now seeing a half-track up for RobFabulous. British base is getting mortared, forcing them away from their casualty clearing station, in fact, and could... Yes, there we go. Anti-tank unruined. Come on, Axis players, attack. Angriff. Angriff. Come on. Still, they're apparently having a nice baking contest or something. Come on, make an effort. Way too passive Axis play. Way too passive, I would say. And there we go. Greyhound bites the dust. Terminally so. And there we go. The armor cars are beginning to deal with the Greyhounds. Securing the north with lots of machine guns covering as many approaches as possible. Greyhound going to push north, and that's going to probably take it right past the pack. And that's Stu, so that's going to be good. Night Greyhound. Stu dealing with what's up in the north. Other Stu getting repaired by Ekas. And there we go. Greyhound very low on health. There we go. Main gun destroyed. And pack sorted out. Needle of a barrage once more flies through the air. And just note, I mean, Lefrench is just making a vast blob. I mean, for someone with the name Lefrench, I mean, he's certainly sticking to French World War I doctrine, or basically Soviet tactics. Absolutely disgraceful. And certainly also a bit of a hallmark of the novice. I mean, Lefrench doesn't even have any armor, no Stuarts, no Fireflies, no Cromwells, no anything, which would probably be more useful. Instead, he's actually making him an easier target for all those goddamn bloody Stews and whatnot. Now we're seeing two Pumas actually out. Bit rare. Normally, only a few units actually had Pumas, and they were never great and huge, made in huge numbers, but they certainly had an impact. And as we're seeing pioneers moving in there, there's pretty much again a very open gap, and it's taken quite some time for the Axis to actually realise this and actually move in there, which is not good. In the meanwhile, Ekas is holding up the north. He needs to support his stew. He needs to support his other infantry. He should not be sending in piecemeal. And there we go. The blob just advances. Stu 42 hits and secures a kill. I mean, it can pretty much fire into this and pretty much kill him. Be guaranteed a hit. And this is not good play. In particular, considering how much of a funnel that area was. I mean, if there had been Goliath there, then it'd been good night. At the same time, we do see Grisen pushing up there, the 116th Panzer Division on the move with the Stuk, with the Pumas. No need for support. And where's the bloody infantry support? Get moving! Support your vehicles, armored with infantry, and take some points while you're out there. Already there, one vehicle is lost because why? You couldn't be asked to move. There was an anti-tank on there which could have been dealt with by infantry. I mean, really. Medusa is Sherman out for RobFabulous, but that's getting stopped by a heavy volume of Stuk and Panzerschreck fire. In the meanwhile, lots of damage going on here. Mortar replacement going down to the Pumas. They need to focus down on this headquarters command track, and though we see the blob is once more on the move, we see an anti-tank gun firing away, getting off a nice hit on the Stuk. German infantry nearby, and this would be an excellent time for someone to use the assault blitzkrieg ability and just launching as many grenades right here as absolutely humanely possible. But instead, again, another failed chance by the Axis to actually do anything. Veteran 22 out for Ekas. Stu 42's MD cleared out. Armored cars need to get out of there. Stu needs to point at the enemy. That's the enemy, mate. And again, another heroic blob charge, though I would not call that very heroic. And there we go. Stu gets off a ton of kills. 6 kills with 1 shot. Again, what you get for blobbing up that badly. Another Stu 42 advances up, but awfully too close, Ekas. What are you doing? Dummkopf. Advancing again, but you know, be careful with the anti-tank guns. Say, you know, you're flanking with some infantry again. Nothing is happening over here. You could easily have been sending someone over there, but again, there's enough very, very passive approach from the Axis. Very much one of building up a huge force, losing, and then building up another one. Let's just speed this up a bit. Not a lot happening, as you might be noticing.
Our front lines are collapsing.
Trucks packing up. Calliope is now moving up, so we're also going to be rather figuring out what this means, which basically means, what the bloody hell is going on there? What the hell have they been stuffing in that truck? Fireworks? Anyways, I mean, this is going to be very much the blob and artillery approach. Not very well intelligent, or I imagine very fun to play against. Greyhound here getting assaulted. Pumas quickly sorting that out with their 50mm guns. Lovely approach. Looks like the blob is getting ready to assault. Again, this victory point's not been secured yet. Let's go look at RobFabulous. Sniper moving about. Lots of rockets hitting here, but not the blob. And more Brits continues. 30 caliber opening up on all the German infantry. Also blobbed up again. You know, try not to blob up. No matter what army you're playing, there are no excuses for blobbing up. If you suddenly do come up with one, it's nonsense. I'm sorry to say so, but it is.
57mm at your service.
MG getting blasted by the Stu 42. In fact, Pumas moving up in the flank, right in front of the anti-tank gun. Why are you doing this, Grisen? They're not tanks, they're armored cars. That was definitely a very risky move. And how about moving up those needle as close as we can actually bombard this with holy rocket fire and burn those Brits out. Another house collapsing. The blob advances. Straight out of a horror movie. That is a horror movie from a Wehrmacht player. It came from England. The blob. Rated adults only. Or something like that. So there you go.
The Axis are winning the battle. Get back in the fight.
Clearing out that track, and we do see a Tiger out from Ekas. Which is nice, I suppose. Again, a vast pool, and again lots of Nebulers not really seeing any usage from Grisen. And again, very much passive play. Again, lots of hanging about. No even attempt at securing this area or flanking about. I mean, notice. I mean, if you were to hit there, you could clear up the anti-tank and do some damage. But again, it's not happening. It's very much a sledgehammer approach. And clearly these gens are not strong enough to lift the sledgehammer on a very regular basis. Which rather means, of course, they're going to be some time between each blow. And there we go, nothing protecting all the support units. We do see the mortar going down. We do see vehicles making tasty artillery targets. Engineers going in after the anti-tanker, but getting stopped rather severely by several assault howitzers. The Tigers also nearby. No bunkers, by the way. No medic bunkers, no repair bunkers. Oh wait, there's a repair bunker there from Grisen, but not a large number, considering all the vehicles used. Anti-tanker moving forwards. Puma standing right in front of it. Moving straight in front of line, another one. I mean, at least there we do see the anti-tank guns covering each other, which is good actually. So when one gets flanked, there's still another one can do some damage. So very nice there, but ultimately, bit of a wasted and silly move by Grisen.
We can now support field repair.
Stu's moving about. The blob advances again, although this time coming under fire from the Nebelwerfers, the smoke or fog launchers. The horde advances remorselessly. And there we go, Wehrmacht makes an assault. Lots of Panzer X, Panzer Faust. Calliope could go down, but they need to stop moving and fire, damn you! I mean, really, you're moving a huge force and you're not paying attention or what? At the same time, there we go, a bit of assault. Stu 42's launching howitzer after howitzer into this vast, unyielding conglomerate of British forces. Looks like the Calliope is down. Again, no protection for the support units. Support units being too close to the front line for that matter. Several mistakes compounded into one. Anti-tank guns again, no infantry. And there we go, Stu 42 is lost. Grisen loses another unit, a bit senselessly, I would say. And a lieutenant dies again, taking points under fire. And the Stu 42's advances despite, all the anti-tank guns firing away. And the Calliope continues on its out-of-control maneuver. Another Stu 42 rolls in from Ekas. Just a waste of vehicles. And again, the German blob now advances. Straight into a Calliope fire. We're seeing just Ekas moving out again while under heavy anti-tank gun fire. Absolutely no preservation of his units. He charged straight into a blob with mid-game analysis. But I mean, he charged straight into a blob with so many Bren guns. I mean, you do not charge in to automatic weapons fire, in particular not LMGs, in particular not Bren guns. That was absolutely mind-bogglingly daft done there by, Ekas. I mean, this is not Napoleonics. You're not bayonet charging. You're fighting in the Second World War, which means you shoot at them, which means you do not run straight up to their guns and ask, "Can I please have some more bullets, sir?" You're not here to prove something. You're here to kill the other bastard, not gain his respect. So do not do that. That is absolutely criminal. Mid-game analysis currently not really looking good for the Germans, not looking good for the Allies either. I mean, there's really, again, one Brit player suffering all the losses, blobbing up, meaning it's going to be much easier to push him back. And in fact, he is being pushed back, and the ally only doing support and not really being able to position his troops or protect them, so he's also losing quite a bit. I mean, he's down to 2 Calipes, a sniper, and 2 anti-tank guns. He's got nothing left. So again, not really a sound strategy overall, and again, rather means he's taking silly losses. And for the Axis again, so many wasted troops and vehicles. Absolutely atrocious unit preservation. Just charging in straight into anti-tank gunfire. Just moving straight into a Bren blob. I mean, really? Where did you learn? The Soviet school of suicide? Oh well, let's get back to the fighting before I actually get angry. And we're now seeing pre-summon again, more artillery to support up the blobbing. Again, not very imaginative either. And again, very heavy losses for both. I mean, Grisen's down to just a few things. The Needlewerfers have still not really managed to do much in support. Needlewerfers firing again. Pioneers getting reinforced. And now all of a sudden a sniper. I mean, I'm sorry, but you know, with that huge blob, I don't think snipers are going to do much. It's like trying to plug a finger into a dam that has already collapsed. Too little, too late. We do see a bit of attempt here for the victory points, which is working out alright, but the blob is advancing. The pioneers need to get out of there now. Looks like they will succeed. TIE golds are now available for Grisen. 116th Panzer Division, though, is clearly getting worn up in this fight. Tiger tank repaired. Speeding things up again.
Sniper ready to engage.
Advancing forwards. Infantry section firing away. Panzer in hand, and now a Greyhound all of a sudden from RobFabulous, which seems mind-bogglingly weird. Brits moving about with a lieutenant. Artillery over that Stu-42, and a sniper's 20 kills in that Stu-42, by the way. No attempt at panzerfausting that Greyhound, which instead ends up getting hit by its own Calliope. RobFabulous apparently not really be able to sort of keep track of where he's firing his own bloody artillery. And Stu-42's continued. Tiger advancing. One anti-tank gun up needs to be dealt with. And there's a Needlewerfers for that, but they are apparently far removed from any actual combat situation where they could actually, by accident, hit their enemy. Ostwind's now out from Grisen, which means he's gone for a Panzer Command. Might have been benefited with a Panzer IV, but there you go. More Calliope fire. Devastating the landscape. More artillery. Bren gunner slightly losing down here. More Wehrmacht infantry advances. Greyhound still there with very little health, not been repaired. The Allies have managed to secure the centre. Somehow. Stu supported by the Ostwind. Pretty much no armour from the Allies to actually do anything against it. Engineers getting murdered right up here. RobFabulous once more displaying why he is the opposite of fabulous. Going for the victory point there, coming under fire. 17 pounder gun placement going down for Lefrench. Panzerschrecks mounted on Grisen stormtroopers. And the blob advances again. He could try and lob a bundle grenade right in front of the blob. Could work, perhaps. At least he needs to get out of there soon. Ostwind moves in. And oh my goodness! Stu-42s are just murdering them. That was nuts. At least I hope that was the Stu-42 and not the Allies firing on themselves. That would just be tragic. Armour car coming under fire. Brit standing about, not really entirely sure what to do. Clearly shell-shocked. And looks like he will be going down. Will he go down, or he's just somehow become, you know, so utterly bored with the enemy he refuses to even die now because sniper gets him from the side. Rockets going down, the Stu-42 on the Ostwind.
Where do you want us? Ooh, Achtung!
Let's go look at Ekas. Who's now equipped some of his grenadiers for the LMGs, and again the way he's sort of playing, I fear it's going to be wasted. In fact, dual equipping it. Oh dear, why not just spread it out a bit more sensibly? At least let's see if we can actually figure out how to use the MG. Which again involves, you know, standing still for it to fire. It does not fire on the move, it is not a BAR, so be very mindful of that. Tiger getting blasted. Speeding things up a bit. The blob readies itself once more. Consumes a few more British squads before lurching forwards again. Armour advancing, going straight into the British horde. And where's the infantry? Where the grenadiers for the LMGs, which is supposed to be used against the infantry? They're nowhere to be seen. Greyhound goes down. Calliope rockets firing away madly. And we do have the priest as well, firing over this 105mm gun. Heavy artillery hitting Axis armour. Intense as well. And the blob gets back. Apparently the British operated by hive mind, according to Lefrench. Going for the victory point there. MP40 Fultz Grenadiers moving up. £17 gun firing away. Pioneers getting blasted, running off.
Attention! You're ready to close with the enemy.
And a Panther out for Grisen. Both victory points being handled. The blob, of course, one single purpose at a time, of course, ignores the victory point and instead advances up. I mean, again, the blob is not some sort of clear sign you're the good player. Usually the opposite, because again, you can't even manage, dividing troops into a bit and getting some sort of tactics in. Pretty much just a human wave tactic, which you can only get away with due to the more peculiar design of the British. And thankfully, that should not be an option in company views too. Stu 42 fires away, lots of kills on that. Getting blasted with Piats and Panzer Rex. Another husband rolls out. Brits retreat. And again, no infantry from RobFabulous, which also means they can't do much. And again, rather means there's only going to be one advance at a time, which again, the Germans, both players, can then actually counter if they so can coordinate. And again, there seems to be no coordination because both have gone blitzkrieg. Meaning again, they don't have any flexibility at all. Advancing straight into a 30 caliber emplacement, coming under fire, heavy fire, losing men. And there we go, Calliope being expended to push away a single Fultz Grenadier squad. Rick, I'm just going to ask you simply, don't you think that was a bit pointless? It was a squad already suppressed, already taking losses, and you're using one Calliope barrage to sort of knock it off. Seems a bit wasteful. Artillery going in here. Looks like it is a creeping barrage. Fascinating. Not entirely sure what that was supposed to achieve. Stormtrooper sneaking in from Grisen. Panzer Rex trying to knock out the Calliope. Not quite having any wild successes. Sherman advances. That's actually been upgunned. That's a nice, interesting move. Big 17 pounder gun emplacement up. By the way, Panther though opening up on the Sherman. Stormtroopers on the run, getting sniped, getting shot at, getting all sorts of nasty things lobbed at them. Panther continues. Veterans tune up for Grisen. Tiger pulls up. And there we go. Brits killed. Ostwind, Stu, Tiger. Everything moving against the blob. Sherman advances, anti-tank gun line up. Needle's going down on the machine gun placement. Just note, RobFabulous is just laying down several machine gun emplacements. Somehow that's going to make up for the lack of infantry again. And here's the thing, machine gun emplacements are not supposed to be your main defense. They're supposed to augment it. They're there to support your infantry, not replace your infantry. And again, that's a common mistake made by novices. They're not going to be, your frontline centerpiece. Speeding things up again. Infantry hiding up here, not really doing much. Again, Ekas just wasting resources pretty much. Artillery going in. The blob advances up the center. And there we go, Lieutenant dead, squad almost dead. Stu's definitely having an easier time with the blobs. Allies still advancing. Again, Axis tactics are a bit woeful. Another priest arriving. And, I mean, he's only got a field support, right? He's never bothered with a captain even. He's just blobbing up. Just sad. Lots of artillery going in. Direct hit on the Tiger and it bounces off. £17 gun a bit exposed. Alex is not really doing much again. Too much waiting about.
Mobile artillery has reached its RV point.
And there we go. The Germans moving in from the north. Lots of Panzer 6. Field support truck going down. Priests a bit exposed. The clergy are going to feel the wrath of the Hun. So we do see the 17-pounder gun coming under fire. We're seeing machine gun placement still quickly suppressing, and we're seeing blitzkrieg assault. Oh dear. I mean, it can be used to ignore, but I'm not entirely sure how great an idea it is. And there we go, clearing out the emplacement. Veterans with free anti-tank, and by the way, it's gotten 4 armor kills. That's really a bad sign. And there you go, troops are simply getting suppressed. They just need to get out of there. They're not going to do anything. Come on. Ekas, get them out of there. Please. Rückzug. German armor advances. Grisen moving in. Tigers too. And there we go. Looks like one hell of an armored push. I hope so, at least. Troops getting murdered. German moving in. Although all of these have not really been properly repaired. Needwerfers lining in. Calliope on the flank, anti-tank on the flank could be sent in to deal with this, but no response so far. 17-pounder gun is down. More rockets going in. Sherman going to go down. Anti-tank and still not doing anything. British blob advancing. Straight into the Panther, the Austrians, and the Stu-42, and for that matter, the Tiger. Looking at RobFabulous. Continuing further in, Pershing out. Taking direct hits, come on, hunt it down. Grisen, hunt it down, hunt it down. Stu's though heavily damaged, going to go down. 17-pounder gun still firing away. Veterans with free anti-tank and gets another Stu. Come on, take it out and get that Pershing as well. There we go, veterans with free gun is lost. Artillery firing away, Pershings nearby. Just goes on. And there we go, Pershing is lost. Pershing is lost. Come on, just keep at it. Keep at it. And where's the infantry? But no, Grisen stops up. He does not push the assault. He lets his teammate go on and take heavy losses. My God. This is terrible. Allied war machine is up. 1,300 manpower being floated. Goodness, and another Pershing arrives, coming under fire from the Tiger and the Panther. Stu's out of control. Looks like the Tiger's still there. And looks like the armored assault has finally stopped up. Stu's though getting blasted with Calliope rockets as they try to get out of there. And with shots from the Pershing, field repairs is up. 1,400 manpower floated, by the way. 1,400!
Enemy unit down.
And now they're just advancing in from the anti-tank guns. Again, keep your flanks coming. Get some infantry. Needleworth is firing away. Direct hit on the priest. Now lots of Shermans getting prepared from RobFabulous, desperately trying to convince himself he is actually fabulous. Probably not succeeding. Lots of rocket artillery. Not Panzerwerfers, but Stukas and Nebelwerfers. And looks like another assault is being prepared, but will it be enough? And interestingly enough, I mean, they must have had full blitzkrieg abilities, or at least, you know, the one that gave them the blitzkrieg. Again, you allows them to fire faster. I know Ekas does, but why they did not use it doing all of this is a bit weird. I mean, they could have done a lot of damage, and again, you know, there's just, you know, this bit of a disconnect going on with them and their actual doctrine usage in some ways. And certainly not taking full advantage of their abilities, or for that matter, their weapons. Speeding up again. Heavy rocket barrages. Killing some engineers. Not really much beyond that. Blob encounters blob. And again, stop with the MG. Do not move. And there we go. The Brits infantry does retreat. The blob is leaving. And looks like a priest again was too far ahead, Lefrench. Support unit, in particular to something like artillery, should not be kept at the bloody front lines. And there we go, troops getting absolutely murdered by Calabi barrage. Tiger moves out. Speeding things up a bit. The horde advances. Let's go look at Grisen. And again, note blitzkrieg, but will it actually get used eventually? And the Nebelwerfers, as usual, not anywhere near them to actually be doing anything useful. And they've not even been given veterancy. I mean, he's got a ton of resources. Again, all players are flowing resources, but not doing anything with them half the time when they could be using them to make the troops or units better. I mean, really? Point being secured.
Heavy recon here.
Stormtrooper down to one man. Panzer Shrek left behind, not picked up. Speeding things up again. More rockets going down. Bombarding the front line. Blob moving down here. Come on. Rockets going in here. Needle of rockets falling down there, not achieving much. Again, partners for speeding this up, but this is a long and perhaps slightly, you know, uneventful match in some ways. Again, long does not necessarily always mean better, yet a lot of the novices in particular just send men 1 hour long matches. Or they send men one match that lasts 10 minutes. Again, usually sweet spot is about 34 minutes. I don't mind longer or sometimes shorter, but again, usually that is about the best. Oh well. Units dying up north, sniper tearing through the Germans. We do see all these troops moving in. Stop the grenadiers, stop the grenadiers again. The LMGs does not fire on the move. Again, if you're not going to learn to properly use it, why bother? It's not a magical talisman, it's a gun that needs proper usage procedures. Looks like we might be seeing an assault being set up. We're seeing the German armor moving up to hit from here. One part of it anyways. Nero's moving up. Infantry lining up. Will this be it? Will this be some moment of truth? Where the boys will be separated from the slightly more special boys who need special attention in the schools. Come on, gentlemen, and there we go. Blitzkrieg. Vorwärts. Achtung, Achtung, Angriff. Anti-tank gun opening up, hitting the flank. Nicely done there, at least. I mean, in this case, Grisen is showing some promise. At least he's able to, you know, figure out that there's got spots for attacking, which usually tends to be the flank, because again there might not be everything pointed. So there we go, attacking from one angle. At the same time we do see Ekas pushing up from another, but he's not using Blitzkrieg, and he does have it. Come on, man, click the Blitzkrieg button. Infantry pushing up. MG's still not really achieving much, but the Allied armor is getting absolutely murdered. Infantry getting murdered. The blob is finally falling apart, although the tanks are getting blasted out. We're seeing the grenadiers with LMGs. So many LMGs! My God! My God! And again, stand still with the LMG for it to fire. Stand still. So much MG fire. There we go. The lieutenant goes down in seconds. Rockets going down. The tanks just shatter through the Allies. Pershing moves in, but against a Tiger and a Panther, it's not going to have a snowball's chance in hell. Sniper here in trouble. There's only a few, well, Clipers left to really hold the line. Sniper down. Stu 42 advances. Stu 42 here could be pulled up as well. British infantry finally just getting murdered. Like the dogs they are. And then we go Lefrench. Retreats. And nice artist band before RobFabulous retreats. And I mean, this was very much a Monday novice fight. It rather showed some of the grim things. Again, machine gun emplacements not properly placed. Again, meant to replace the infantry. And I probably went for the one that might have had some promise. We also saw, you know, blobbing up of it. Insane amount. We saw player not doing much, again taking up the support role and not really pushing much. We saw again passive players who should have been attacking sometimes, you know. We did see some veterans jump that scope, but we also saw awful unit preservation. We saw attacks being made despite it being from the worst angle possible, losing tons of units senselessly without doing damage. What we also saw, though, was some promising play from the Wehrmacht in some cases where, again, they actually set up to hit the flank and was able to actually do quite a bit of damage before the Allies were able to react fully. So that at least was nice, and at least we saw some coordination that way and attacking from more than one direction. So that's a good thing. But there you go. I bloody well hope you learned something from this match. If you did, why not subscribe, to your friends, or share? If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own or provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers, and please don't send any more replays in with lots of machine gun emplacement being laid down in the first 10 minutes. Cheers.